guys, Stephen Boatman here from Pro Physique. Today we're going to talk about how to build muscle and lose fat. Oh, he does not like this. So what's up, guys? Hopefully everybody's been having a great week. I know I've been really terrible about the YouTube videos lately and my consistency, guys, and I'm sorry. Today's the last day before I close on the house. I'm going to start moving over everything tomorrow. Saturday's most of the stuff that's moving, so hopefully next week we're back on the normal grind. You know, at least a couple videos a week, and that's the goal, to get back in the swing of things. But, you know, life has definitely been crazy, getting all the mortgage stuff dealt with, getting ready to move. So I appreciate you guys still sticking with me and staying subscribed. But let's talk about it. Losing fat and building muscle. Now, I bet you think that we can do both at the same time. We can't. So let's talk about the two different stages, why they're both important, and why we need to be able to sort of enjoy both. Because quite often we tend to have that grass is always greener viewpoint, right? Like, oh man, I really wish I was lean right now. Or, oh man, I wish I was strong and I wish, you know, I could eat all the food and just, you know, be a little bit looser with my tracking and these things. And so they each have their own benefits, right? So let's talk about them. Let's talk about, obviously, the one that I think everybody's always worried about more often, losing fat, right? Getting shredded. Get shredded. Build muscle. Get shredded. Part A. So that's, from my perspective, that's kind of the easier part. It's a little bit easier to get shredded in terms of, like, the timeline typically isn't quite as long. When we're talking about a dieting phase, we're talking about, you know, maybe 24 weeks at the most for most individuals, depending how far away we are. You know, if we're really overweight, it might be a couple dieting phases, but like, we can make a pretty significant amount of progress in 20 weeks. Think if we're doing conservative diet and we're getting about a pound a week, that's still 20 pounds, right? That's a pretty good amount of weight. If we're a little bit more overweight or we're being more aggressive and we're getting a pound and a half, 2 pounds a week, even more, right? That could be 30 or 40 pounds. That's a significant amount of weight. And that's a 20-week diet, you know, very regular. Nothing crazy about that, right? So I think for me, fat loss, it's just about being in a calorie deficit. There are some things that kind of complicate that, and hormones can have an impact, but at the end of the day, we're either in a deficit or we're not. We're either losing weight or we're not. Okay? Compounded by some different variables, but it's it. So how do we get fat loss? We diet. We get into a calorie deficit. We do more exercise. We eat less food. You know, we do those things that we know. Now, paying attention to that is important, but it's important that we enjoy that process for what it is. It's challenging. It can be tiring. It can be stressful in and of its own right. But we want to enjoy that process, and we want to enjoy the end of that process, right? Which is where we're no longer dieting, because this is what I really want to talk about. It's the building muscle. It's the off season. It's learning how to enjoy your off season and enjoy the things that it brings and that it has to offer you. Because I think for a lot of us, we tend to get really stagnant in our off season because it's like, oh, well, yeah, I'm trying to build muscle and I'm not really making much progress, or, you know, it's slow and so on and so forth. Like, I get it. I'm probably lucky to get a pound or two of actual muscle a year at this point in my life. And with my training age, all that stuff, right? It's just not fast. It doesn't come quick. And at the end of the day, if I diet too aggressively, I could be giving that up to lose that body fat too. So it's really important that when I'm in my off season, right now, that I'm enjoying it, right? I'm enjoying it for the multitude of things that it brings, right? So the first and foremost, I think it's the hormonal stability, right? Like, girls are pretty again. You know what I mean? I want to spend time with them again. Right? That's number one, hormonal stability. That's going to look a little bit different for everybody. But for a lot of females, it's going to mean the menstrual cycle starts to regulate normally again, right? Again, libido is going to increase. Water retention goes back to normal, right? If you've ever been really lean, dieting really hard, you know you pee all the time. All the time. Right? So things like that. Maybe if we've been dieting too hard and too lean, sometimes we can see like hair, like we stop having the issues with hair, right? So having the off season gives us a chance to restore all that stuff back to like normality, right? Mood state. Like I'm kind of a pissy little bitch sometimes anyways, but definitely much more so when I'm lean, right? So being in an off season, my mood state gets to be, you know, normal most of the time. Not that I'm the nicest guy ever, but like I have so much more patience. I have so much more happiness and joy, like when I'm got a little bit of body fat. And let's be real, guys, if we're talking about the competitive, the physique competitor, typically your fat, it's not fat. We're not fat, you know what I mean? So really trying to keep that in the grand scheme of things and understand, you know, where we're at in comparison to the majority of the world at this point in time. Like, that's important too, right? Because I can't tell you how many people that I've talked to that are a little bit more overweight and they're starting their fitness journey and they're trying to get things in. They're like, man, you know, like, I feel like I have some issues with myself, but then I see people that they look like you and they're like, oh, I'm fat. And you're just like, wow, really? So we want to make sure that we set a good example too, right? The off season is a great time to do all of those things, to say, hey, I can be at a healthy body fat percentage. I can be okay with my body image during that time, have that, you know, hormonal stability, be able to make progress in the gym with strength, because that's the cool objective thing, right? Reverse dieting's tough, right? Getting to a place where you're maintaining and you're making progress in the gym and you're recovering and you're feeling good, like that's tough because we don't have like that set diet goal, that end date, that hard number. But we can look at things like, I like to do powerlifting thingies, right? I can look at my squat, my bench, my deadlift. I can look at those numbers and say, are they going up? Am I making progress? Am I recovering better? Am I able to do other stuff that I want to do? Like, yeah, awesome. Like, I'm making progress. So making sure that we're still having those objective markers of progress / not progress that aren't just, you know, physique related. Do we want to be making progress in the physique? If we're a physique competitor or anybody who cares about how our physique looks, yes, of course we do. But those changes are very slow and occur over long amounts of time, right? And for physique competitors, if it's a pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, sometimes you don't quite see that until you start getting leaner again anyways, right? So it's important to have other things that we can focus on to still enjoy the process, to still enjoy our training and to have fun. But the greatest part is if I want to take a day off from the gym, it's not the end of the world. You know what I mean? If I want to skip jujitsu or doing something, it's not the end of the world. If I want to go out with my friends and have some food, it's not the end of the world, right? I make it track. My macros are more than high enough, right? I just make it fit for what I need it to fit. And it's enjoyable. I don't have to overthink it. I don't have to be like, oh man, if I do this today, I'm going to have to make up for it the next 2 days. Or like I'm going to have to give up all this food for here. Like, it allows for a little bit more freedom. I can have a drink. I can go have a beer. You know, I don't have to have my food timing and schedule exactly on point or else I'm going to rip somebody's head off. Like, all these things are huge, huge benefits. So, really, at the end of the day, my entire point is, guys, don't forget to enjoy your off seasons. Don't forget to enjoy the time away from dieting, away from stage, away from, you know, that traditional fat loss idealization, right? Enjoy the time that you have away from that. Enjoy the time with family and friends and making progress in the gym and recovering well and sleeping well and not peeing every 20 seconds. Like, enjoy all the things that it brings. It's really important that if we're gonna last in this, you know, fitness, whatever you want to call it, that we enjoy every facet, each stage that it entails. So I know that I tricked you with my title today, but what I really want to encourage you guys to do is enjoy not only the diet, but enjoy the time away from the diet when life happens. But that's it, guys. Life is happening for me. I gotta go get back to it. I will talk to you soon.